Hello, my lovely friends. Please enjoy this full-length Get Ready With Me for an Indian event where I do silvery gray eyes and red lips. Watch till the end to see a teaser of my next Get Ready With Me look.
I already applied my moisturizer and my sunscreen. Now I'm going to be applying my primer on the areas where I have my pores right over here, and then a little bit of hyperpigmentation spots over here. So I will be taking just a little bit like this and using it wherever I see some pores. So generally in the area where my cheeks are meeting my mouth and my nose, to the forehead area, and some near the chin. I am done with my primer. So we will first be starting with the eyes, and I'm planning to do a sultry, silvery, glam looking eye. And we will start with this, which is my Cali Ray black pencil, which I have used in my other short videos as well. And we will start with putting it inside of my upper lid, just kind of like lining the upper rim. Now note that I have very sharp pencils, so I just sharpened it before we started this video. And you can see my eyelid there, it's very nicely lined. It's okay if you get a little bit smudging on the top side too. I am next lining from the middle of my eye to the outer edge of my eye. I will be using my smudger brush. Right now I have my Rephr 03 brush, and I will be just lightly smudging the line so it's not super dark and looks kind of soft. So there we go, it looks like this. Next I will be lining the bottom line. And you can see that some of what I lined previously on the top side has come down to my bottom line, and that's okay. So I lined it, and I'm going to pull it slightly out at the edge because I'm going to do the same with the smudge brush Rephr 03. I'm just kind of lightly smudging it, not bringing it down too much, but just lightly smudging it. So this is how it looks like. Next, I will be using a warm brown shadow. I'm using the shade Best Self from the Huda Empowered eyeshadow, but honestly, I don't think you should try to replicate buying another shadow palette. Just use any warm brown, a little darker than your skin tone and slightly warmer in shade. We are putting a silver gray lid, and so I don't want the look to look too cool tone. I do want a little warm tone popping at the edge. I'm pulling it down a little bit so that the outer V also has some warm tone in it. So this is what it looks like now. And you can look at the other eye to see the comparison. Okay, because I have very oily lids, I am trying this new trick today of putting a little bit of powder. This is the Pat McGrath powder, but you can put any powder you want. So just on the top of my lid, in the inner corner and the middle of my lid, because that's where it's the most oily. And next I'm going to be using the Urban Decay primer shadow, and I am going to apply this on the inside area and then all the way to the middle of my eye. You can apply it, actually I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the edge as well. Now note that I am not putting it on the area that has the eye pencil on it. So I am going to be using my M433 Morphe brush for blending, and then we have the Smashbox Always On Cream Eyeshadow in the color Grage. I am going to be applying just a little bit to the outer edge of my eye. So I have this much, and this is probably sufficient for both my lids. So I am going to be applying very lightly to the outer lid here. I'm taking it slightly across, but mostly in the outer lid and a little bit in the crease area. So this is how we are looking right now. And don't worry if it looks messy, it's gonna all come together at the end. Okay, I am going to be using my Sigma E70 brush that looks like this, and it's perfect for putting in the outer corner. I'm again using my Huda Empowered and using a shade like this. It's a gray called the Winner. And I'm just gonna lightly tap it, remove the excess, and then just kind of go on the outer edge and tap it out. Just very slowly. You keep it mostly inside and just kind of like, again, go over the crease, but not too high. And this is how it's looking. I'm also going to go back to my Rephr 03, take the same shade and do it on my bottom line. Exactly where I smudged my black liner, and slightly below that as well. I'm taking it again on the same and lightly going over where I had my liner. We're gonna line it again at the end, but right now I just wanted that to have the same shade of gray. This is how we're looking. So now I'm going to be adding a silver, and I am using the Sydney Grace palette that looks like this. It is a beautiful, beautiful palette. And I'm taking the shade John. This is the Sydney Grace light palette. And this is the color. It's beautiful. And I am going to start tapping all over my inner lid and my center lid. Now I am still leaving my inner corner open. We will be putting a different color, lighter color there. I'm going to do this eye and pop right back. Taking this large RealTechniques medium shadow brush and just kind of blending all the shadow at the top and making sure the silver doesn't have any harsh lines left, and neither does the brown shade. So everything looks really blended and there's no harsh lines, and you can see that. Next, I'm going to take my Cali Ray black pencil again and just kind of go over what I had before, because if you remember, we kind of covered it up. I'll be doing the same on the other eye as well. Okay, so now I am going to take my Urban Decay mushroom and just kind of go a little bit below, not in the waterline, but a little below, a little outside, going from the outer edge towards the middle, but just like slightly in the outer 1/3. And I'm going to take the smudger brush again, and we're lightly smudging it. Okay, so this is how my eyes look right now. So I think that looks pretty good. We are missing the inner corners, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start the rest of my makeup and then come back to it. Okay, we are going to next use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil and do our eyebrows. So I'm lightly filling in wherever there are bald spots. I'm using a brown shade, and I will have it listed as to what brown shade it is. I generally tend to use the taupe one in the elf line, and I can't remember which one I use. So here I got it a little bit out, and you can just remove it with your hand, with your fingers. Okay, I'm using the spoolie to kind of like make it softer and sort of blend in with my natural hair. I feel like this one is well blended and this one is not. I still see a few bald spots. And so that's my eyebrows done. Okay, now that we're done with our eyes and our eyebrows, I'm starting the rest of the face. I'm using the medium shade from Smashbox times Becca. It's called the Under Eye Brightening Corrector. And so I am going over the areas that are darker under my eyes, especially this inner corner. I'm not going to apply too much today just because I see that my under eyes look a little bit dry. So I'm applying it. I'm kind of like patting it, and then where needed, I'm going to blend it in. Also applying it to my dark spot. And you can see how well it color corrects. It's a peachy shade. I have this RealTechniques sponge which I ran under a tap water and then squeezed it out a few different times, and then also patted it dry with a towel. And now I am just going in and sort of patting the concealer or the corrector in place. And you're gonna see me do that several times with all the face products, and really this is a good way to do it, especially when your skin is dry and it needs a little bit of moisture. Next, I am putting on the concealer with this RealTechniques Set and Spotlight brush, and I'm using my MAC concealer, and I'm just going to take the same side I used for the corrector and start to kind of dab it in and then just apply it in the same areas that I put on my corrector. And because my under eye is looking really dry, I'm using Fix Plus, MAC Fix Plus, and spraying it on my sponge just at the top here at the tip, and then going over that in the areas where I applied my concealer. And so this is how I look with my concealer, under eye concealer on. Next, we're going to be applying my foundation, which in this case is the It Cosmetics CC Cream. It already has SPF in it, but I did apply some SPF prior. And what I do is I will just dab it on in different spots. I am taking my foundation brush. This is the It Air Brush Buffing Foundation Brush, and I will be putting on some Fix Plus on there, and then just kind of pouncing the foundation in place. So note that I'm not going to be spreading it, but just kind of pouncing it. And I will be taking it down the neck a little bit as well. This way my neck matches my face. I'm gonna take my sponge again, the Real Techniques sponge, and just dab or pat over my face. That way, if there are any streak marks from the brush, it's gonna go away. And also, if you remember, we had some Fix Plus on there that's just gonna kind of hydrate the foundation a little bit. So if you remember, we had applied a little bit of corrector previously there, and we had not applied any concealer. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques brush again. This time though, I'm using my NARS concealer. This is a pot concealer, and it's a little bit more coverage than the MAC one. So it's a little bit better for my hyperpigmentation. Okay, so that looks good. And again, I'm going to use my sponge to kind of lightly go over the edges of where I applied it. Okay, so this is how we're looking with foundation, concealer, under eye, and eyes done. I do have to add inner corner highlight to my eyes, so I'm gonna be doing that next. So I'm taking a brush that's quite small in size. Something pointed would be better, but right now this is what I have at hand, and this is an old Estee Lauder brush that came in some kind of a set. And I am using the Rare Beauty highlighter in Mesmerize. I'm just taking a little bit, and I'm going to be applying it to my inner corner and just kind of taking it slightly upwards, so you can see it right there. And I'm going to do the same to the other eye. And I kind of merge it with the silver. Next, I'm taking a Real Techniques setting brush and the Rare Beauty Mesmerize highlighter again, and just lightly tapping it and applying it to the high points of my cheeks. So the idea is that using the same one wherever you can on your face helps to sort of bring the look together. So I have it in my inner corner, and then I have it on my cheek, and then I'm just gonna take it on the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, my upper lip, and that's about it. I'm taking the Real Techniques sponge again and just kind of going over the edges. Again, I don't want the highlight to look like a streak, and this is now looking like it's melted a little. I'm applying blush. I'm taking my Patrick Ta Major Headlines blush palette, and I'm going to take this cream blush, which I don't know the name, but it's like a very neon-y pink. So I'm just going to dab it a little bit with an IT blush brush. I'm going to dab it on the palm of my hand to make sure it's uniform, and also that it's not too much, and then go over the tops of my cheek. I think it requires a little bit of blending, and so again, I am going over the edges with my brush and applying a little bit on the chin and over the bridge of my nose. Now, I did forget to put contour and my bronzer, so it's in the wrong order today. I usually put my bronzer and contour before I put my blush and highlight, but totally skipped my mind, so we are just gonna have to do it now. So I'm going to be using my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt transforming skin enhancer in medium dark, and I have an e.l.f. brush here. I think it's just a very generic loose kind of fluffy brush, and I'm gonna swirl it, and I'm gonna go over a little lower than my cheekbones, and I'm gonna do the same on this side. I'm gonna carve out my jawline, so I'm running it under the jaw and not on the top part to begin with, and then whatever is left, I'm gonna start lightly bringing it up, especially on the edges here and less near the chin. So it's gonna be mainly below for the chin. I also decided to be a little extra and use a powder bronzer, and using the shade Bronze Light, which is this one. So I'm going to swirl around with the same brush. Probably not a good idea since I just used a cream product, but I'm in a hurry, and so that's going to be okay. What I like about this powder is that it has a little bit of sheen, and I really like that. It's not completely matte, and it has a little bit of reflection. So again, I'm just gonna go over the edges so there is nothing like a harsh line there. So I decided that my blush was looking a little light, and so I decided to add a powder blush. This is the Dior 001 Pink, and I am going to use a RealTechniques RT400 brush and just kind of swirl it and just add a little bit on top of the cream blush. I am going to now add the setting powder. This is the Pat McGrath setting powder, and I'm using my RealTechniques Set and Spotlight brush. This is the fluffier end, and I'm just going to start under the eye and very lightly go over that. I'm also putting it where I see some pores. This powder is really good in making the pores look reduced, and also wrinkles, and then my smile lines. And I think that should be it. I'm gonna use my RealTechniques sponge again and very lightly press the powder in. I just feel like it kind of hydrates and melts everything together really well. Okay, so we are moving on to mascara, and I have my Shu Uemura eyelash curler. And what I do is I'm gonna go in right to the base of my lashes and just kind of pump the curler to about 10 times, and then let go, and then come a little bit towards the middle of the lashes and pump again a few times, and then right at the edge again. And so now this curls my eye quite reasonably, and you can see the lashes have curled upwards. I'm going to do the same to the other eye. So now I am using my Cali Ray tubing mascara, come hell or high water, and I am going to wipe off any excess and just start at the base of my eyelashes and wiggle it and pull it through. In this case, I tend to not wiggle it too much because these can clump. So I hope you can see the difference between this lash and this lash. And I really love this tubing mascara because I have super watery eyes, so I do need something strong like this that doesn't flake. Okay, so now we have both eyes done. If you do get some splatter, just let it dry completely, and then you can either use a spoolie or a cotton bud to kind of flake it off. Okay, next we are going to do lips, and I have my NYX lip liner in Hot Red 817. I'm gonna start by lining the outer edges, and I might come out a little bit overlining the side of my mouth. I'm using the pointed part to line on the outside, and then using the side of the pencil to kind of do the inside. And now I'm going a little under my lip. And lining right where my lips end. So this is how it looks without my lipstick on yet. Next, I am using...
Unfortunately, I lost some footage here, but I ended up applying the MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in Work. And this is my final finished look. I hope you like it. This is my full outfit. This is my sari. If you like this look, please give me a like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment below for what you would like to see next time. Thank you. My next Get Ready With Me look is going to have this beautiful green and gold halo eye, and I'm going to do a short video for just the eye makeup as well a full Get Ready With Me. Living my life, one joyful moment at a time. Until next time, keep living joyfully.